Hi, I was thinking of a tabletop role playing game competition that should perhaps exist. There have been RPG competitions in the past. Perhaps the most popular one, perhaps the only one that I know of, is the tournament. You know, when you have different RPG groups playing a particular module, the module has been designed for a tournament experience. You have a system of like a scoring point system that gives or assigns points to different events, situations, elements of the dungeon. That is, if you rescue this non-player character, you obtain this number of points. If you retrieve this item, you obtain this number of points. If you kill this enemy, if you interact with this non-player character in a peaceful way, if you discover or unravel this mystery, all of that. But as I understand it, I've never played in those events. I don't know anyone who has participated in those events. But about 20 years back, I remember reading an old, I don't remember if it was a Dragon or a Dungeon magazine, and they gave some details. Or maybe it was a different magazine, I'm not exactly sure. But they presented like a mini documentary of the event or such events. And as I understand it, it looks to me as if they degenerated into a Mother May I conversation and board game hybrid situation because players were completely focused on winning the scenario. But it makes no sense. They could have played that tournament with roleplay because it's a tabletop role playing game. They should have role played the competition or during the competition rather. But I thought there could be another type of competition when it comes to tabletop role playing games. A competition in which you have a panel of judges that will judge the game, the way that a game proceeds, in which a game proceeds. So, for example, now that actual plays are so popular, you could take a number of those actual play sessions and place them before this panel of judges. They would have a few days to go through the different actual plays and score them or grade them according to the role play, the way that the things proceeded, perhaps the pronunciation, the understanding of the one spectating the actual play in terms of flow of the game, the application of the rules. It could be based on many things. I think that is quite possible, but you would need a panel of judges that actually roleplayed in tabletop role playing games. Perhaps three judges, and they started to score the different sessions, and so by a process of elimination, you could end up perhaps with a final showdown between two sessions, and the judges would give their final opinion, the final score on which session is better than the other. There is a disturbing tendency in current times, or at least in recent times, that the competitive spirit is eliminated altogether because you have a lot of mediocre people. I have mentioned this in the real escapism concerning tabletop role playing games, that there are a lot of mediocre people that have failed in various areas of their life. So they take refuge in role playing games, but instead of actually role playing a tabletop role playing game, they are just as mediocre as they are in other areas of their lives. So those are the sorts of people that don't want people to role play in a tabletop role playing game because they don't want others to succeed. They are accustomed to or used to sabotage people instead of improving themselves. Instead of becoming a better version of themselves, they prefer to sabotage others. No, roleplay, that's not roleplay. You shouldn't roleplay. You should ask out of character questions. You should play Mother May I. You should play it as a board game. So they try to pull people into their muck, into their mediocrity. So obviously those types of people are going to be out of such competitions if they were to exist, right? This is just like an idea of a possible competition. But I don't think at the moment, maybe it wouldn't be so much of a thing because we need more actual plays with actual roleplay. There are a few decent ones out there, but you really need more for that competition to be like a reality. Hopefully, as people really experience roleplay and they record their actual play, because there are a lot of shallow and superficial people that are just uploading their actual plays as an exorcism, exercise of narcissism. Like, because of their narcissism, they're just putting those awful sessions out there. Some of them actually have this delusion that they will achieve some sort of success, but at most you're going to get a lot of viewers that don't know anything about roleplay and are just commenting because they have fallen into that the emperor is wearing no clothes or has no clothes scenario, where they don't know how to roleplay. They cannot judge roleplay or identify roleplay because they have no idea about it. So they just comment like, oh, great game, way to go, that's perfect. And they don't even know what they are talking about. But in the best case scenario, you would have a lot of actual plays that could be submitted to a panel of role-playing judges to have like that competition. But like I said, there are several things that need to come together for that to happen. Not only many sessions with actual roleplay, you also need capable judges. And of course, ignore any sort of backlash from such competitions. I can already see the dredges of the TTRPG community, or rather those that shouldn't be in the RPG community because they don't roleplay, speaking, oh, you're making people feel bad because... Why would you even care about someone scoring your session, right? It's only part of the fun of the competition, and potentially in order to improve your roleplay, imagine the opinions of those judges as they are scoring the different sessions. They could say something like, well, in this session there is actual roleplay, but the way that the players speak, it is so dead, so emotionless, and their characters are not particularly dead or emotionless when it comes to their psychology and emotions. So instead of talking, I move to the corridor of the ship and I say, stop there, I will kill you if you do that. Unless you are playing like a character, like a robotic character or something, it wouldn't make too much sense, right? So the player could take some tips like, oh yes, what am I doing? Why am I speaking like that? I should have said, halt, I will kill you if you do that, or put more emotion into it, and more emotion into it. Or when it comes to describing your character's actions, perhaps be a bit more clear, a bit louder. Like, I walk into the corridor and I improve your pronunciation, the tone of your voice. So you could actually improve many things about a role-playing session. So those are just like some general thoughts. I think that would be a really cool way to implement some sort of scoring system in tabletop RPGs. And like I said, it would be like just according to those judges, right? You shouldn't take it as a maxim, but it would be like a standardized method of roleplay, trying to obtain some sort of roleplay excellence. That would be amazing. Let me know your thoughts on this. Or maybe you have seen other types of RPG competitions. Like I said, I am only familiar with the tournament scoring mode or play. But definitely imagine if you have that grading of RPG actual play sessions. And of course, you would also need judges capable of seeing if things are scripted. Obviously, those actors that pretend to have actual plays, but it is all scripted, it is all controlled beforehand. It is not an actual play, it is a stage performance. Those would be out of the competition. So all of those big companies, you know which ones, that have those actors that are basically promoting the game but not actually playing an actual play, they wouldn't be able to participate in such competitions because their sessions are not actual plays. So yes, well, thank you for watching my videos as always. Thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.